There is a story about a couple who tried to have kids. They got married in their 20s, and 20 years passed by and they couldn't have kids. The story goes 300 years ago, at the time of one of the greatest Kabbalists in history, the Baal Shem Tov. And they tried all the doctors at that time and all the physical assistance that they could receive, and no one found a way to help them. And eventually they decided to go to the Baal Shem Tov, who was a very powerful Kabbalist. They weren't connected with the path, with Kabbalah, with spirituality, but they said, maybe this guy will be able to help. So the man went to speak with the Baal Shem Tov, with the Kabbalist, and he told him, 20 years I'm married to the love of my life, but we cannot have kids, and this is one of the greatest pain that I have in my life. I want to have kids. And the Baal Shem Tov looked at him and said, you had a different relationship 20 years ago, before you got with this new individual. He said, yeah, I did have a different relationship. And he said, you were supposed to marry this woman. He said, how do you know that? Yes, we scheduled the day and we were supposed to get married. The Baal Shem Tov is telling him, and you canceled the wedding at the day of the... He said, this is true, I completely forgot about this. He said, but how is it connected? I want to have kids. The Baal Shem Tov told him, the reason why the channel that will allow you to have kids is not open is because of the hurt you created in this woman's life. You need to ask for forgiveness. She needs to forgive you, and then you have kids. The guy told the Baal Shem Tov, how I'm going to find this woman. 20 years passed by, she doesn't live here anymore, she moved to Germany, to different places. The Baal Shem Tov told him, I will tell you where you can find her. Every year there is kind of a business conference in one of the cities in Germany, and she's there. Go to this conference and you'll find her. Ask for forgiveness. If she will forgive you, you'll have a kid next year. The guy was, saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes. The Baal Shem Tov told him, you need to take with you all the money that you have. He said, I have 5,000 rubles. So he said, take with you all the money that you have, you'll need it. The guy said, okay. He sold everything that he could. He took the 5,000 rubles and went to his journey to find this woman 20 years later. He's getting into this conference place, and there are like tens of thousands of people. And he's thinking to himself, this conference goes for 3 days. How am I going to find her? And from morning till night, he's looking for her the first day, second day, third day. He couldn't find her. In the last day, the third day, before they closed the place, it starts, raining. So he looked for a place to hide, under a shade, a roof from the rain. So as he found this place and he's covering himself from the rain, he realized that somebody is standing next to him. So he's looking at the person and he's realizing this is she. And he cannot believe it. He's looking at her and he's saying, I'm looking, I came all the way here, I was looking for you. She's saying, what do you want from me? Saying, 20 years ago, we were supposed to get married and I canceled in the last moment, and I know it broke your heart. And I never had a chance to ask you for forgiveness. And he told her that he's married, that they cannot have kids, and the Kabbalist told him that she needs to forgive him in order for him to have kids. She looked at him and she said, I will forgive you. I want you to have kids. I will forgive you, but under one condition. He said, whatever you want. She said, my brother needs to get married, but he doesn't have money. He needs 5,000 rubles. He said, okay, I have the money. Where does he live? She's guiding him to a specific place. He's thanking her so much, taking the 5,000 rubles that he had, and he's like running to that, place. He's knocking on the door. The brother opened the door. The brother looked at him, recognized him right away. This is the guy who broke the heart of my sister. And he slammed the door in his face. And the guy is screaming through the door. He's saying, listen, please, open the door. I have the money for your wedding. So the guy opened the door and got completely surprised. And he's asking him, how do you know that I'm getting married? He said, I know, you are getting married and you need 5,000 rubles. I have the money for you. He said, how do you know that? And I told him, I went to the conference, the business conference, right? And I found your sister, and she told me that you're going to get married, and I asked for forgiveness. She told me she will forgive me only on the condition I will give you 5,000 rubles for the wedding. And the brother is looking at him and saying, what are you talking about? My sister died 2 days after you left her. He gave him the money. After a year, he had a kid. When we realize what forgiveness can create, when we realize lack of forgiveness, what blockages it can create for energy to be channeled into our life in so many different ways, and it can be something of 20 years ago. And forgiveness always goes in two directions. The forgiveness that we need to receive from people that we hurt, and forgiveness that we need to cleanse hard feelings towards others. How much in phases in our life we look for forgiveness, and how much our mind still in the phase of the logic and blaming and seeing the justifications for why I've said and done certain things that hurt people, or why I cannot forgive different people. When we realize the power within forgiveness, and yes, it is beyond the natural human tendencies. The Kabbalah is saying when the desire is being awakened, we are capable to draw energy that it's beyond our capability as humans. I can say, it's very difficult for me to forgive. But God, help me. I want to cleanse those hard feelings. Help me find those people that I hurt, and I need their forgiveness, because those energies blocking so many of the channels. Yes, it is not easy. But when our heart is being awakened, to realize how much do we need to forgive and how much do we need to receive forgiveness from others, how much just this can help us move to the next phases in our life, the next blessings in our lives,